Greetings. Please subscribe to the channel you love. Next, we will present the culture and cuisine of which country. Leave your comments. Now to the program. Day by day, there are good workers and good drinkers. They leave work as a group and have the habit of drinking alcohol. It removes the tension we had at work, strengthens the unity of the group, and they believe it balances the relationship between the leader and the subordinate. However, when they meet and talk, they do not say peace be upon you. Instead, they ask, have you eaten well? They have a reason for this. Today their country is wealthy, and although they may not be rich enough to eat well, their history of yesterday does not resemble today. When food was scarce, asking if someone had eaten was a significant matter. Citizens who witnessed those hard times are still alive today. When they wake up, they greet each other by asking, have you eaten well? Which means, are you alive? Did you pass the bad days peacefully? The things heard here are all shared over coffee from home to the third round. A child's time in the mother's womb during pregnancy is counted as 1 year. They also have the concept of joint birth. When the new year comes, everyone in the country adds 1 year to their age. Sometimes this comes with a miracle. For example, let's say a mother gave birth on Tassis 31. On that day, her child turns 1 year old. In the evening, it is Tier 1, the new year, so the baby also adds 1 year to their age. Being born on the second day means the child is 2 years old. In other parts of the world, a person's age is determined by the stars. Here, however, it is determined by blood type. If it is A, it means patient and calm. B means stubborn. AB means smart. This is used as a criterion for choosing a lover or spouse. Where we are from is Korea. We mean South Korea. Their country is small. In terms of land area, it is 12 times smaller than Ethiopia. However, the number of citizens and economic capacity is not small. It is 51 million citizens and a GDP of $1.8 trillion. It is known for technology, innovation, artificial intelligence, robotics, and shipbuilding. In 2019, it was the first country in the world to deploy a nationwide 5G network. This has enabled it to be a leader in smart city development and electronic sports. It is also known as the world's plastic surgery capital, spending billions of dollars. Its citizens have a system. They have a big identification card. It is customary to shake hands with friends who are older by 1 year. They raise their hand and say gons. The person receiving the greeting gives a handshake with both hands. They do not drink in front of their elders. They turn their face left or right. If they lose their place, they cover their drink with their hand. Leaving the bar or office before the leader is considered rude. Their language is designed to respect elders just like our country. They have you for male and female. Saying we instead of me is common. Like Europeans, they showed this to the world in 1997. At that time, their government faced a severe financial crisis. The national debt repayment promise collapsed under the IMF. Citizens lost trust and did not look back. They said, our government is the only one suffering while we are alive. 3.5 million South Koreans gave their gold rings and wedding bands as gifts to their government. The collected gold weighed 226 tons, worth $2.1 billion. This helped their government repay the IMF loan 3 years early and restored the faith of global investors in Korea, laying the foundation for continued economic growth. Their country is governed by law and order. For example, BTS is known worldwide and Koreans know their idols. How popular they are is evidenced by the 260,000 people who attended their concert on Megabit 21. 2026, over 60 million people from more than 190 countries watched the concert live. These 7 members of the group have been making music and organizing concerts for the past 4 years. Where have they gone? This is Rhea. Any Korean between the ages of 18 and 28, regardless of wealth or fame, is obligated to perform national military service. Even the famous and wealthy members of BTS do not skip it because of their fame or wealth. In the past 4 years, all the members of the group have paused their music careers, cut their hair, worn uniforms, entered camps, and fulfilled their national military duties. The recent music concert they held in the Gangnam area of Seoul was their first concert after returning from their national service. In the past, obtaining benefits from other countries was possible by building a strong military force and performing physical service. This is why the division of territory occurred. However, in the 20th century, the game changed. Television was invented. People could go anywhere and reach anywhere. Governments did not leave their countries, but through the televisions they bought with their money, they were told what to eat, what to drink, what to wear, and how to think. This became a means of marketing their products and spreading their culture and language. America and India made good use of this era. They even trademarked names. When the internet was created, it became possible to reach individuals, especially young people, beyond families, and South Korea became a major player and a strong force. Many of us know what K-pop and K-drama are. What we do not know is Hallyu. The time is like the European control in 1997, when Asian countries were hit by a financial crisis, and Korea was a major user. When the Korean government tightened the financial exit routes, Hallyu was seen as one of the many doors. It means the Korean wave. By building very modern film studios, expanding fast internet lines, and sending films, dramas, and music over the internet to the whole world, Korea built its power. Hallyu has two goals. The first is visible, to support the national economy by spreading Korean films, music, and dramas worldwide. The money earned from film sales supports the country, so it should not be misunderstood. In 2025 alone, Korea will earn $15 billion from the industry. But Korea's main goal is not just money. The industry is a strong force that makes the country known, attracts investment, seeks markets for its products, spreads its culture and language, and creates economic, diplomatic, and cultural influence worldwide. This is a strategy developed at the government level as policy. Today, Korean music, films, and dramas have entered every home worldwide. For example, their drama Squid Game made history by being watched 268 million times on Netflix. Korean foods like kimchi have also become household names in many countries around the world. In a study conducted in Western countries, Korean ranks first among the new languages young people want to learn, surpassing those they download on their phones. Korean youth appearing in films, dramas, and music, the brands they wear, and the hundreds of thousands of fans attending their concerts have become new global influencers. These artists gain public love and money, and their ancient country is made visible on the world map. South Korea can turn any sector to its advantage and make it work for its citizens. For example, playing video games is a pastime done after work in any country in the world. If done excessively, it becomes a useless addiction. But in South Korea, stadiums are full, and it is a billion-dollar industry with live television broadcasts. This physical sport is played in very modern internet cafes called PC bangs, which are widespread throughout the country. These places are like second homes for many young people, including those in vulnerable age groups. They spend their days there, from breakfast to dinner, without leaving their seats, gaining experience for up to 18 hours a day. So what benefit does Korea get from video games now? Here, video games are called esports. South Korea esports and plastic surgery industry clubs and tournaments are national games. Global organizations like Samsung and SK Telecom have their own esports teams with high financial investments. So, the challengers are national heroes who, if they become skilled club professional players, partly artists and partly elite athletes, represent their country and participate in international competitions. Another well-known South Korean industry is plastic surgery. In the field, it is known as the world capital of plastic surgery. About 25% of all plastic surgeries performed worldwide are done in Korea. For example, In 2025, it is expected to treat 1.2 million international patients and generate $1.5 billion in revenue. Korea and its professionals are recognized worldwide as leaders in the field. But the question why often remains unanswered. Plastic surgery, especially cosmetic surgery, is still pioneered by Koreans worldwide. Here, the V-shaped face, sharp chin, narrow nose, wide eyes, fragrant skin, smooth jawline, and refined facial beauty are not just appearances. To continue working, ACV qualifications to be an artist and good life and social status that are necessary to be loved by the public are required. For this reason, major Korean companies require photos along with educational certificates to continue employment. Families accept and believe in this. South Korea esports and plastic surgery industry clubs and tournaments are national games. Global organizations like Samsung and SK Telecom have their own esports teams with high financial investments. So, the challengers are national heroes who, if they become skilled club professional players, partly artists and partly elite athletes, represent their country and participate in international competitions. Another well-known South Korean industry is plastic surgery. In the field, it is known as the world capital of plastic surgery. About 25% of all plastic surgeries performed worldwide are done in Korea. For example, in 2025, it is expected to treat 1.2 million international patients and generate $1.5 billion in revenue. Korea and its professionals are recognized worldwide as leaders in the field. But the question why often remains unanswered. Plastic surgery, especially cosmetic surgery, is still pioneered by Koreans worldwide. Here, the V-shaped face, sharp chin, narrow nose, wide eyes, fragrant skin, smooth jawline, and refined facial beauty are not just appearances. To continue working, ACV qualifications to be an artist and good life and social status that are necessary to be loved by the public are required. For this reason, major Korean companies require photos along with educational certificates to continue employment. Families accept and believe in this. In Korea, students who pass university entrance exams are blessed with family gifts. The gift is also a beautiful facial plastic surgery. However, the industry is led by the entertainment industry. Worldwide, artists are called elite, but in Korea, they are called raya. To be in raya, not only talent, but also beauty is required. The secret to the complete beauty of Korean artists we see in films is this: they are all created with today's beauty but do not look alike. Their perspectives here are not like ours. It is within the code of appearance, and there is no count of they are beautiful when eaten. Moreover, they believe that our natural face can be edited like a photo. This starts in childhood, according to a 2025 report. Since they started working in films as challengers, the industry is expected to be monitored, and among children aged 10 to 14, 90% have undergone one or more cosmetic plastic surgeries to look beautiful. The industry, which involves billions of dollars and young people, both elite and wealthy, has established beauty as a standard and gained international acceptance. Large companies that pay high salaries to their employees have also made it a reason to use beauty as a standard for recruitment. South Korea's subway technology. South Korea is known for its city subway technology. It has developed a high-level city subway. In Asian countries, subways that provide high-speed out-of-city services are common. However, subways that provide in-city services usually stop at short distances, and their speed in most countries is not considered enter here. South Korea's GTX, Great Train Express, which started in the capital city Seoul, is an underground city subway that has become a global industry leader. It runs at 180 kilometers per hour. Previously, the usual subway trip that took 80 minutes has been reduced to 20. Minutes. This has encouraged residents who learned about the high rent in the capital city to live and work in nearby small towns with lower rent. The new line is built 60 meters underground without touching the city's buildings and regular subway lines, showing South Korea's budget capacity and technical achievement in the field. South Korea's subway stations are modern. They have free 5G Wi-Fi, heating in winter, air conditioning in summer, mobile transaction prices, national news, and screens showing the arrival time of the next train. In many countries worldwide, passengers are restrained to prevent subway accidents from happening unnoticed. They have doors that close until the train arrives. In the past, in Korean culture, a person would not eat alone. If seen eating alone, it was considered shameful, as if something was wrong with that person. There was a term for it. In their language, shiku or family, it meant people who share a meal together. That was in the past. Nowadays, Koreans have changed. They have abandoned solitude. Hambap or eating alone has become acceptable. The reason is that time is scarce in Korea. People do not have time to eat leisurely or to socialize. Life is not easy. It does not give much. Their loss of time and isolation, even if it causes discomfort, has created a new culture called mukbang. Mukbang means people eating food while broadcasting live, sharing the experience with viewers. It has transformed from a habit into a cultural phenomenon. Many enthusiastic online followers have emerged. Because of this, restaurants have even changed their designs. They prepare their seats facing the walls, arrange tables with screens, and serve their solo customers separated by screens. Although South Korea has many good things to offer the world in education, it is astonishing that many young people, burdened by poverty, have sold their gold and pawned their possessions to survive. The once economic engines of the country have now become mere shadows. Solitude and poverty have become their identity. According to a recent report, up to 40% of young people in South Korea live in poverty. Most of them survive by collecting and selling cardboard on the streets. Family ties, once strong and supportive, have weakened in these times of hardship. The eldest child was once seen as a guardian of the family. They did everything possible to support their family. Today, however, young people work tirelessly, but their income is insufficient to cover rent and school fees, leaving them unable to support their families. Even families themselves lack the desire to help. They have started saying, if our children can manage on their own, that is enough. We will not be a burden to them. As a result, many young people live and die alone, sometimes remaining locked inside their homes for weeks without anyone knowing. The number of such isolated South Koreans has increased dramatically. Young people who witness this despair in their parents have begun to lose hope in life. They are called sampo, oppo, and nopo. Sampo means giving up on dating, marriage, and having children. These are the hopes abandoned by the wealthy who have settled down. Oppo adds giving up on finding a good job and building a house of their own. Nopo means giving up on life itself, not just failing, but losing hope in life. All this pressure has caused South Korea to experience an unprecedented decline in birth rates, which is visible worldwide. The country's workforce is shrinking, the number of disabled people is increasing, and this threatens the country's economic growth and future survival. The burden of life stress has extended beyond adults to students. Young people are troubled by their uncertain futures. According to a recent report, 40% of South Korean students suffer from mental health issues. Sadly, these young people endure their suffering silently and do not seek medical help. They are not strong enough, and their chances of receiving mental health care in well-known institutions are limited. I will show you briefly what kind of life can be affected when you are consumed by opportunity. Here, we have told you that life is expensive. But who would believe that living in a cold house in a wealthy country like South Korea would add to that? The truth is this: they are called gosiwon. Their direct translation means rice bag. They are small houses unsuitable for living, without legroom, no windows for ventilation, and not suitable for life. However, 200,000 Seoul residents use them as bedrooms, living rooms, and dining areas. These rooms used to be rented by young people preparing for national exams. Today, they have become residences for many. Far away in Sanat, there are also South Koreans who have bought an apartment in this city for $5 million and live there. Those who have watched South Korean films like Parasite and Squid Game will understand this difference in living conditions. For this reason, Seoul's youth call their city Hellhosean or Deep Seoul. If they knew that we call Seoul Silanam Eric, they would be surprised and come up with a name for it. This concludes our visit today. Thank you for staying with us.